The Kershaw Leek. We have it here with a blacked out blade, olive green handles, and a Sandvik steel. And I gotta tell you that for the money, it's hard to find a lightweight USA made EDC like this knife. So when Kershaw introduced the Dividend this year, I looked at it, you know, on screen when I was looking on like Amazon and that type of thing. I was like, yeah, that basically just kind of looks like the Leek, and how could, you know, Kershaw make anything to beat the Leek in this kind of like size range? Well, folks, I think you're gonna find out throughout this video that Kershaw has basically beat themselves at their own game. They took everything good about the Leek and upgraded it, in my mind, in almost every way on the design of the Dividend. And then the things that have really held back the Leek that we're going to discuss here today, some of the pocket clip features, some of the ergonomics, weight class, all that type of stuff, they have upgraded and removed that the issues that were with the Leek and improved upon it. So I think we have here a huge winner in this Dividend, as we're going to run these guys up head to head, show you pros and cons, what they have to offer. So let's go ahead, jump to it. Let's throw in some action as we discuss what the Dividend and the Leek have to offer as we battle these two blades out. And I believe at the end of this video, you're going to find out that Kershaw has been able to beat themselves at their own game. Well, here we go. Man, excited. I'm just excited and pumped about this video. So as we said in the intro, we got these two guys here, and the reason I purchased both of these was I had a Leek a while ago, traded it off, you know, just flipping through different knives and stuff like that. But I wanted to pick it up again to run it up against this Dividend. And honestly, out of the gate, I said, you know what, I mean, it's the Leek. I mean, come on, who's going to be able to compete with that? But I believe by the end of this video, you may find that the Dividend is actually the better of the two knives. That's kind of my conclusion and what I've come to after having used these blades. So let's go ahead and jump right in. So these are both USA made, obviously. Two different types of steel here. The Sandvik steel that they have on the Kershaw Leek is going to be the better of the two steels. It just holds a slightly better edge. It's a little bit easier to just have that longer edge life. So that's gonna be the main thing for me. I really wish that they had put Sandvik on the Dividend. The Dividend is rocking 420 high carbon steel. It's a decent steel, but it's budget. You know, it's very similar to HCR 13 MOV. You know, it's easy to put an edge back on. You can get it razor sharp. Kershaw does a good job with their heat treats and stuff, but it's just not to the level, in my mind, of the Sandvik that is on the Leek. So you'll have a little bit longer edge retention. Not a ton, you know, it's not like mind-blowing difference, but there is a little bit of a longer edge retention on the Leek. But I will tell you that even though these are both 3 inches, that the Dividend has a better cutting performance. The main reason is that it has a bigger sweep, even though it is this really nice Wharncliffe design, and it has a more abrupt hollow grind. So it is razor sharp, not that the Leek is not, but the Leek does not have any belly at all. It's just straight off, and the hollow grind isn't as abrupt. So it's just not as good a slicer as the Dividend. The Dividend is going to be the better of the two cutters in every way. The tips are both like paper thin, so these are not strong tips, so you're just going to have to be careful with both of these guys. Don't do stabbing, don't do prying into hard materials. You're going to snap the tips right off of that. But that means for your EDC task, these are super wicked precise in, you know, opening packaging and doing those type of tasks. You'll be very happy with the precision that you get with the tips on these two knives. So let's go ahead and hit deployment, lock up that system. Now, the centering is fantastic on the Dividend, right down the center. Haven't had any issues with it floating left or right. We do have a really nice flipper that protrudes, you know, significant from the body. You're definitely gonna notice there, but they've rounded it off, given it some jimping. It's not sharp or anything like that. Easy to grab. Speed safe open assist whips it right out and into place. And then we have a good liner lock that hits right there at about 40% of the blade. No play left and right or up and down. Super solid lockup, very easy, and then goes back into place with a good detent. Now the Leek, nice and centered as well. The Leek, being an older design, does have this little pole right here that acts as a locking mechanism. So you can slide this down and then it will keep the blade from deploying. The Dividend does not offer that. You can totally remove this or lock it down tight at the back end, which is what I've done. So I've screwed it down so that it won't accidentally block the blade. That is something just to note. Then we do have the flipper here, not as pronounced, which doesn't really matter because, again, you do have a speed safe open assist. Springs open. I feel like the Dividend is a little bit stronger than what's on the Leek here. And then we have about the same thickness of the liner lock that's hitting right there at the back of the spine. A little bit further to the left, you know, probably hitting 30% back there, but it's not, you know, offset or anything like that. And again, these are lightweight EDC blades. You're not using these as tactical knives or bearing down hard on them or anything. So for the task that I would put these through, very solid lockup, really no issues. And then again, a good detent. Now let's discuss the pocket clips. And again, the Leek being around, gosh, since I first got into, like, really started caring about knives. So at least, you know, 15 years or so ago is when this guy came out. I don't remember the exact date. But what we have here is a very large pocket clip, well known from some of the older designs that Kershaw has made. Tip up, tip down, and it is right-handed only. Nothing for lefties. So if you're a lefty, you're not really going to enjoy the Leek. The Dividend is going to be the way to go. You do have a lanyard hole over here, but you got a huge silver pocket clip. Definitely going to stand out. And if you do tip up, which is the only way I like to carry my pocket knives, it is going to stick out a ridiculous amount out of your pocket, like 1.5 inches. One of the highest riding pocket knives ever on the market. It is really ridiculous, and that's because of just the design of the body of the knife, but also of that safety feature that they originally had integrated into the Leek. So when it comes to the pocket clip, it's not my favorite in that way because it's such a high ride and it's so big and it's flashy, so everyone knows you're carrying a pocket knife. But this just shows that time makes room for a lot of remedies. So Kershaw, since having produced the original Leek here with the Dividend, has figured that out. First off, blacked out pocket clip, so it's not as flashy. It's much smaller than on the Leek. So love all of that. You got that good lanyard hole as well. Now, it is still somewhat of a high ride, but way lower than what you saw on the Leek. And it is 4-way directional. So it's tip up, right or left, and tip down, right or left. Awesome. Totally digging that. Totally love that. So the pocket clip options as well as just design and ride are way better on the Dividend. Even though I would have liked to see a loop over like on this House of Blades exclusive Link. This is the exact same screw lineup. So I know these are out here. Maybe you can contact Kershaw and ask them, hey, can I get a loop over for, you know, there are a couple different of their options that are out there that have this. That would make this like a super deep ride. I'll probably do that with the Dividend. I mean, that would make it even that much better. So I would have liked to see that loop over design, but in comparison to the Leek, I mean, worlds apart in options as well as ride. So now let's go ahead and discuss handles. And the Dividend has the better of the two for many different reasons. Now, these both have aluminum bodies. Now, the Dividend does offer a glass reinforced nylon version that's a little bit cheaper and might be a little bit more contoured, but I prefer in these sizes more aluminum if the weight is there, and the weight is there. Now, this guy is going to come in at 4¼ inches overall length. It's going to be 0.36, if I remember correctly, on the thickness. And this is kind of like a gray purple almost. Really cool handle scales there. And it's going to come weighing in at 2.9 ounces. So ultra lightweight. Really dig that a lot. With my large size hands, you can see there I got plenty of room sticking out the back there. Really nice. No jimping or any humps or thumb ramps to worry about. And then this cut in with the guard works fantastic to really keep me in control, locked into place, no matter which way I'm holding the knife. So the ergonomics for your EDC tasks are fantastic, zero issues, and just a really cool factor that they offer on the Dividend. Now again, the Leek being an older design, it's slightly more slim in its overall profile. As you can see there, it's not quite as wide as the Dividend. So maybe those of you with smaller hands might enjoy that. It is 4 inches where the Dividend is 4¼ so it's slightly shorter. It's going to weigh 3 ounces, so it's slightly heavier as well. and it is going to have those same aluminum handle scales with the steel liners, and then that flow-through glass reinforced nylon backer here. That is something I forgot to show you with the Dividend. Very cool. Again, just showing a little bit more flair. That is kind of has some cutouts. It's flow-through back there, just giving you a little bit more style that you can see on the Dividend that you don't see on the Leek. And then this is 0.35, so it's a hair thinner. But even though it's a hair thinner, it's a 1/4 inch shorter on the handle. This is actually a slightly heavier blade overall, just because of the design and just the older features that they used to have with the Leek over the Dividend. So the Dividend has a longer handle, slightly wider handle, slightly thicker handle, but comes in at a lower weight, which is awesome. Anything under 3 ounces is fantastic. This guy coming in at 3 ounces, and then just this Dividend coming in at just under, is both awesome for EDC carry. But between the two, if you're asking me which handle do I like better, it's the Dividend. It's slightly larger and just fills out my hand a little bit better, but still cuts down on weight. So we're gonna hit price here. That's another thing of why I wanted to run these two up against each other. Now, the aluminum handled Dividend is gonna run you between $38 and like $41. So right around the $40 price point for USA made 420 high carbon. That's what a lot of knives in this size range are kind of going right now, and it's a decent price point. And then if you want to go cheaper, you can get the glass reinforced nylon Dividend. That isn't as cool looking. That one's going to run you, I think, $35. We will have links in the description below over to Amazon. That's a great way to help support the channel. Helps me buy knives just like these two so I can make videos and content just like this. So thank you, and I appreciate you guys using those links. We'll have links not only to the Dividend options, to Leek options, and a few other knives that Kershaw makes and some other companies that I can throw in there for you that you can take a look at if after this video you want to purchase either one of these two knives or just want to see what else is out there. Those links will help you below and helps us as well make videos just like this one. Now the Leek, if you get the satin on satin, you can find them for around the $35 mark, which is again the cheaper version of the Dividend. This version right here I paid like $41 for the olive green and the black coated. They do have some other versions out there as well. I believe they have a 154 cm with carbon fiber that's like $80 for the Leek. I believe they have some black on black. They have some compound ones that's a Sandvik on top, but D2 steel on the edge. Those are about $60. So I mean, there's lots of options because the Leek has been around so long, and it is a classic. You know, I'm bashing on it, but it's still a great EDC knife. I just think the Dividend hits it that much better, and it should be that case. You know, Kershaw should always be improving, and I believe they have with the Dividend in almost every way except for the 420 steel. But this guy, easily you can pick these up for about $40 for lots of different color combinations out there, and then there are lots of steel options as well. Sandvik being the basic model, and then they have some compound D2 and CPM, and I'm sure they're going to keep doing things like that. I would just love to see Kershaw come out basically with a deep ride pocket clip. That would help out a lot with this. You can find some aftermarket pocket clips for the Leek if you want to on eBay, and they're around, but those are going to cost you about another $20. I would love to see Kershaw in the future renditions just come out with deep ride on all their Leeks. Will help out a lot, I believe, because it's so ginormous and it's such a high ride, it's really obnoxious. But there you go, guys. Very similar price points. You're getting, with either knife, you're getting a great USA made product for around the $40 price point. Again, all the links below. So folks, there you have it. It's kind of a no-brainer for me. In almost every way, the Dividend beats out the Leek. Really only in the steel retention, edge retention, do I wish there was an improvement. I would love to see in the future maybe an S30V, a Sandvik, a 154 cm, something like that in this Dividend. Just an upgraded, you know, model, blacked out, maybe river wash blade or something like that would be amazing. You know, their black wash or whatever it is. I mean, dude, I would pay double, you know, if I could get it with 154 cm or S30V with a blacked out blade. I mean, it would be phenomenal to see that on the market. So folks, hopefully this video has helped you out, showing you both knives and what they have to offer and which one will best fit your needs. As always, thank you for coming over here and checking out the channel. Please subscribe, comment, like, share this video. Love to hear your guys' thoughts, answer any questions that you have in the comments below. Check us out on all the relevant social media as well. It's a great way to see what's up and coming down the line, and just a different way to connect with us over here at the channel. So as always, remember, stay equipped, stay prepared, and we'll see you out there.